Right, so just slowly managing the cables at the back. On the upside to, well, I would say downgrade. It's a slight downgrade. I mean, it's a B. Where is it? B760 board compared to a B. Compared to the 790. But you do actually have the availability of, you've got all the audio jacks and all that sort of stuff now working. You have all the USB 3 whatever you want to use on here working as well. And I mean, you've got the M.2 Gen 5 in here buried. But if he does want to expand, and see that on the other board, you'd have to pull apart all of that to get to the stack, which is, you can see down here, that's where my finger's pointing there. That is where the M.2 is. It was stacked up 3 high. So you'd have to pull all of this apart, all of that out, just to get to the M.2 in there. But on the slightly downgraded motherboard, you've still got the additional M.2 space on the back of the motherboard. The M.2 screw is in the motherboard box, so you can either have a super long one or medium one. So if he wants to expand it, boom, literally pop off the back panel, slot that in, M.2 drive, upgrade. Or if he wants me to upgrade it, if he wants to add some more cache to the build, more than happy to do it. 2 terabytes should be more than enough, to be fair. I mean, 2 terabytes, you can have, I think, what was it, Warzone or Battlefield 150 gigabytes or whatever. Then whatever he's going to be running streaming wise, I can't imagine him bottlenecking anything with 2 terabytes. I mean, 2 terabytes is a lot. That is a lot of porn. Yeah, so I'm just going to finish tidying up these cables and stuff back here. But yeah, no, I mean, the RGB hub on the Corsair wasn't too much of an issue. For some reason on the, I think it must be something to do with the generation issue. I'll find out later on, probably horribly on the next build that I do with the 13th gen when I'm using a larger motherboard. I mean, with mini ITX motherboards, you generally have issues with things like this because they move the headers and all that sort of stuff. Like, see, the RGB headers are up the top here on this one, which are a lot easier to access than they were down here. So if he wants to add an RGB strip and stuff later on down the line, it's easy just to plug it in there and then just have it stripped around. But to be fair, I think these RGB fans will give you enough play with all the RGB. Ignore all the fingerprints. That's what I hate about these. I usually take the sticker off at the last minute, but of course when you've got heat going through these things, you can quite easily bake them on. I will be painting these cables here because usually they heat shrink in black, but for some reason they've got green blue thing, so I'll be painting that, getting rid of that so you can't see that. Other than that, just tidying up the cables. The reason this cable's hanging out like this is because this is the on-off button switch cable. They need to be nice and loosey-goosey, otherwise it will pull out and you won't be able to turn it on and off, and it's an absolute bumhole ache to plug those back in. Again, I mean, it's mainly due to the case. It's quite a poorly designed case, but at the end of the day, it's, he wants something that he can carry around with him. And the one main reason I like this case as well is you've got the side panel isn't glass, it's plastic, and it's not acrylic plastic, so it's not easily scratchable. It's Perspex plastic. So if he does smack it or scuff it, he can just go down to Hobbycraft, take the original panel, and they will just cut one out for him. Boom, like 15-20 quid. And compared to acrylic, which is like 50-60 quid, and like they scratch like really horribly and easily, and glass is heavy. So I mean, this is, I suppose that weighs, I'd say about 15 kg, which isn't too bad, so I can quite easily carry that around with him. What else have we got here? Yeah, so yeah, sorry about the delay. Obviously, family issues and stuff, but I had it all done, but for some strange reason, again, I have no honest idea why. My torch on my head here. Turn that off. Yeah, I have no idea why that was all not working properly. But hey ho, we're almost there now. I'm going to batten up the back, play with some more software on it, run some more games on it again. Yeah, what game would he like me to install? I've got Steam installed on there at the moment. If there's any other programs he wants me to install, let me know. I've got ridiculously fast internet speed, like gigabyte speed, rather than you know, I mean, like, most people have like 100 and something gigs going into, megabytes going into the house. But because of my business and Virgin Media, I've got a ridiculous loony Pornhub speed. So if there's anything he wants me to install on there, let me know, because I can install, say, example, GTA 5 within an hour, rather than, what does it take for most people? 5-6 hours, almost a day. But yeah, so let me know.